YouTube, how's it going? Frogs Angels is back, and I have a 2019 NFL mock draft for you guys today, just before Week 15 of the NFL kicks off. After the NFL season, we're going to have plenty of draft coverage, mock drafts, team-by-team draft, prospect rankings, breakdowns, rumors, all kinds of fun stuff. Draft's my favorite time of the year, draft season. Can't wait. But I'm going to go pick by pick, break them down. We're going to show 8 at a time, but I will break down each pick. Don't forget, tonight, which is Thursday, Chargers-Chiefs, we are live streaming. We live stream the Thursday night games, play-by-play breakdowns, reactions, a lot of good stuff. We also have Friday night live streams and plenty of NFL predictions throughout the week. So check all that out. Join us for the Thursday night live stream, Chargers-Chiefs. But let's get into it. Some surprises coming. We'll talk about them. Niners with the first pick currently. I went with Nick Bosa, defensive end, Ohio State. Yes, another D lineman for the Niners. Nick Bosa, right now, looks like the best player in the draft. You know, how important is pass rush? You know, you talk about quarterback and pass rush, most important things in football. Nick Bosa, you know, the scouts are saying better than Joey Bosa. That's something else. So we'll see. You know, the injury is a little concern. You know, you can't say there's no concern because the injury, you know, sitting out all this time, really no concern because he's young. He's going to get it. He's going to get the groove going, you know, once he's in the NFL playing. So that really doesn't concern me. You know, the injury, is it something that could pop back up? Doesn't look like it, but it's got to stick with you. What does that come into factor on draft day? Will he go first pick? The Niners will like him. You know, Solomon Thomas has been very disappointing so far. Still has room to grow. But Bosa right now is the favorite for the first overall pick. The Cardinals could use a number of things. You know, they definitely need weapons for Rosen. They need some more blocking for Rosen if he wants to improve. But the defensive talent, a guy like Quinnen Williams, a guy that can play, you know, he's going to play interior D-line in the NFL, but he can play on the outside as well. So the flexibility of not only him, but to be able to change your defense up during the game. You know, very few defenses really change the looks, and the teams that do are very successful, but it depends on the players you have to be able to move around different schemes during the game, different looks. So it really starts with the players on the defensive front, and Quinnen Williams of Alabama has the talent, elite run-stopping ability, and gets after the quarterback. That's some rare talent. It's rare talent, but there's quite a few guys in this draft that actually can do that, and that's pretty crazy. Justin Herbert, here's a surprise. Justin Herbert, quarterback, Oregon, 3rd overall to the Raiders. Maybe a surprise because Derek Carr, you know, a lot of people like Derek Carr. He can play, don't get me wrong. But, man, Gruden, known for kind of moving on quarterbacks quickly. You know, he just got in there. You know, does he want to bring in his guy to grow the team with? That all makes sense to me, too. And the firing of the GM, you know, Reggie McKenzie, you know, kind of surprising, you know, mainly because it's Gruden's in control. We knew that when he was hired. He needed to be in control. That's why he got so much money, because he's the coach, he's the front office with some help. You know, he makes the decisions. So really something that comes to my mind when the firing of McKenzie happened was maybe they're in a disagreement on a guy that McKenzie drafted and a guy that Gruden has different thoughts on, and the first person that comes to mind on that is Carr. So maybe McKenzie wants Carr to be the quarterback. Maybe they're in a disagreement. You know, popped in my head, and the fact that Gruden likes to move on from quarterbacks and tries to find his guy, you know, he's going to fall in love with the guy. They have 3 picks. They can afford to do this, even though they need a receiver. Their old line's not looking good right now, but could be better in the future the way it is, and they need a lot of defensive help. So it's tough. Justin Herbert, a guy that I kind of expected to go back a few weeks ago, but then Gil Brandt, I know a lot of people probably know Gil Brandt is NFL Network, used to work for the Cowboys back in their good days, and he is very, very confident that Herbert's not only is going to the draft, but be a top 5 pick. So very surprising. At one point, I really thought he was going back. We will see. It's a different debate. If I think he's the clear-cut #1 quarterback, there's more breakdowns to go through. These bowl games are big time. They're big time. So we'll see. I liked Herbert a lot more last year. That's why it almost makes more sense if he goes back. We'll see, though. I think Gruden will like him. I think Gruden wants to try to trade Carr. It's kind of a bold prediction. We'll see. The Falcons go Ed Oliver, D lineman, Houston. Ed Oliver's a freak guy. Another guy that gets after the quarterback as an interior D lineman. Another guy that can slide outside like Quinnen Williams. So rare talent. Don't think you can pass on him here. They honestly could use almost anything on defense. I look at how important pass rush is from the edge position. Falcons, have some promising guys. They could use another one. They could go lineman here. There's quite a few good linemen in this draft. Maybe 4's a little early. Not really that early. It's just with a guy like Ed Oliver sitting there. Do you pass on him? So at this point, I'm thinking Ed Oliver or Jonah Williams, offensive lineman, because their offensive lineman was one of the better O-line in the NFL, and now it's it took a little bit of a dive. So we'll see what they do. I like Ed Oliver a lot though, freak guy. Jets go Josh Allen, edge rusher, Kentucky. Freak athlete. That's pretty much what makes him go really high. Freak athlete, off the edge, can drop back into coverage at times too. Fits the Jets defense. Darnold needs some help. You definitely need some help. Would they go receiver here though? It does look a little early. We got a receiver coming up, next pick actually. But a guy like Josh Allen they can use. He can fit the system perfect if it stays the same defense, same scheme. He fits. So I think they'll like a guy like Josh Allen. The Bills at 6 go N'Keal Harry, wide receiver, Arizona State. People may think this is early for a wide receiver. Number one, I love this wide receiver class, the entire class, best in a long time. And I think there's a lot of teams that have the need at the receiver position. So teams know that. So you may think you have to grab one early. I don't think this is early though. N'Keal Harry is a absolute freak. Talk about size, strength, ability to catch the ball, ability to high point the ball, and all that. And he has freak athleticism too. We've seen him catch screen passes. He's got the vision. He's got everything. Maybe you want his release and quickness to be a little better, but something you can work on here. Receivers like this you don't see receivers like this every day. It's plain and simple. You don't. Put this guy with Josh Allen. Bills may have one of the worst wide receiver units in football right now. You put this guy with Josh Allen will be very happy. It'll be a good duo for a long time. It makes all the sense in the world to me. N'Keal Harry, one of my favorite players in the draft. Do not see wide receivers like this every draft. It's every how many years even. I would pull the trigger on Harry right here if I'm the Bills, and I think they're thinking about it. Pick 7, Jags go Dwayne Haskins, quarterback, Ohio State. I like me some Dwayne Haskins. Over the last few weeks, he's been really, really improving. He fits today's NFL's quarterback. I think you need some athleticism. He's got a lot of athleticism. You got to be able to move in the pocket, throw on the run. This guy, let me tell you, throw on the run. This guy can throw on the run at a high level. It's getting better every single week. I like Haskins a lot. Can't wait to see what he does against the Washington defense, Byron Murphy and the Washington defense. It's going to be fun. The Jags definitely would like a guy like this. They would not hesitate. They would take him here. The Bucks at 8 go Deontay Thompson, safety, Alabama. This guy's a range safety. He can go from one field to the other side just like that. He can read plays. Freak athlete. The Bucks need a corner. They need a safety. The lack of safeties that you come across these days, especially in this draft, makes me think they would take this guy right here. I really like Carlton Davis. Love that draft pick. They have MJ Stewart as well. So, yeah, they could use another corner, but the future looks somewhat bright there at the position. So, grab a safety like Deontay Thompson with fantastic range, which teams are looking for at the safety position these days. Different league now. It's a different league. Moving on. Next 8 picks. Lions go Jonah Williams, offensive lineman, Alabama. He could go in the top 8 very easily. Like I said, he could be in the running for that Falcon spot. Lions could go line. They can go. They got rid of Golden Tate. They can go receiver. They can look at the defensive side. I think they drafted pretty well on the defensive side. I think the defense is starting to get better and better. They could go pass rush because Ziggy Ansah, everyone's getting better and better, and he's really not. It has to do with his injury, obviously. So, but Stafford's been under a lot of pressure. The best lineman in the draft here at 9. I think you got to take him. Giants at 10, Drew Lock, quarterback, Missouri. I like Drew Lock a lot. Pretty athletic while having crazy strength, arm strength. I think he'll be a better pro than he was in college, and he was very good in college. I see him in the Shermer offense. A lot of people are saying Haskins possibly to the Giants. I don't know if he really fits the Shermer offense unless he's going to adjust a lot. I see a guy like Drew Lock fitting in, and obviously in this scenario, Haskins is off the board. Drew Lock, I like him. I like his confidence. I like him in that Shermer offense. I like him on the Giants throwing to Odell with Saquon. It would look good. Lock, I don't want anybody to overreact because he's not Patrick Mahomes, but he has a little Mahomes in him. That arm strength, the ability to get outside the pocket, throw on the run with crazy arm strength. He's not Mahomes, not going to be Mahomes, but a little bit of similarities there. Bengals, Devin White, linebacker, LSU. I think too good to pass here. Freak linebacker, today's NFL linebacker, fly around the field, not going to miss the tackles, the one-on-one tackles. Good at reading plays. Bengals could use him. Could be a quarterback. The top 3 are off the board. It very well could be a quarterback. How about Will Grier could be the next one off the board. I think teams are really split on him. Hard to tell where he will go. Devin White's just too good to pass here. The Packers, I have going with Marquise Brown, wide receiver, Oklahoma. Marquise Brown can run any route. He can get open. It's today's NFL wide receiver. He's got the speed, the quickness. I think the Packers would love to have a guy like this. Rodgers would love to have a guy like this. They have Devontae Adams on the outside. This could be the better version of what Randall Cobb was and what should be today still. Maybe injuries are keeping him from that, but I think they would love to have Marquise Brown. Again, receiver class is stacked in my opinion. They're going to fly off the board. You got to take them now. It makes all the sense in the world to have Brown with Rodgers. I think that'll be dominant. The Browns go Rashawn Gary, another position too good to pass. The D linemen are so good that some will drop. Some ridiculous ones that should be even a top 10 pick even will drop. The Browns would love to have him to help stop the run and pair with the other good D linemen that they have. Redskins, another position where they can go quarterback. The top 3 off the board. They could think about Will Grier. The line's been beat up big time. They need to get somebody good. I like Dalton Reisner a lot. I like his attitude. He's a nasty blocker in a good way. I like this guy a lot. Lineman from Kansas State. I think he's a plug and play for the Redskins right away. Who really on paper they're good on the line, but it's just enough's enough. It's getting beat up every year now. It feels like. The Panthers would be very excited here to get Clelin Ferrell, the defensive end from Clemson. Fits the system right away. Plug him and play him on the edge. The Panthers' pass rush has been pretty much pathetic this year. Big reason for their struggles on defense. They would jump out of their seats when they're on the clock here with this. They'd be very happy. So as we're seeing, very good draft class. It's looking like guys like this are dropping, especially on the defensive side. Eagles go Greedy Williams, corner, LSU. They need a corner. They have depth at the position if healthy, but they don't have that legit number 1 guy anymore. So I think Greedy Williams could be that. I think they think about him or Byron Murphy here. I like both on the Eagles. Honestly, we'll talk about DeAndre Baker in a little bit. My thoughts on him, I like DeAndre Baker, but we'll talk about him in a little bit, why he's not the first or maybe even the second corner off the board. Greedy Williams, great playmaker. Like the attitude, like the confidence. He'll fit in with the Eagles. They would love to have him there at 16. Moving on to the next 8. And there's Byron Murphy, the Broncos. The Broncos don't necessarily need a corner in the first rounds. Another team, a wild card would be going quarterback. I like Case Keenum. They could be better at the position. They found their running back, really a running back duo. Their line's getting better and better, it feels like each week. Got young guys in there. Could be a receiver. I think they would like to have a guy like Marquise Brown if he's there. So they could use a receiver. Could be a tight end, honestly. This tight end class is real good, but I think you can get a starter in round 2 or 3, so those guys could drop a little bit, even though they're very talented. Defensive side, the only thing they really need is a corner. Chris Harris is elite. He tends to play in the slot. He's a veteran. He's got the injury this year. Other than that, I like the 2 young guys, Yaedam and Bradley Roby, but are they legit number 1 outsides? They can play, don't get me wrong, but Byron Murphy, he has elite potential. This guy has the right movement, the skill set. You look at his hips, you see how quick he is out of breaks. Teams are going to like him a lot. They liked Denzel Ward that much last year. Byron Murphy, come draft time, can shoot up the boards because of that. Very, very, very good mover, I should say. Very, very fluid. Hips, opening them up, running with the receiver, everything about that. Very, very clean corner, if that makes sense. You don't see most corners. You don't see them have that skill set. They got the ball skills, but they got to work on their back pedal, their hips, opening up, running. They got to work on all that. Byron Murphy doesn't have to work on any of that. So I think the Broncos get him in there, and he can be a day 1 corner for them, starter. Dolphins take Dexter Lawrence, defense tackle, Clemson, a guy that's kind of known as a top 10 guy. I think the D lineman can drop. Maybe not their number 1 need. Maybe they go Will Grier too. But I think when him sitting on the board, they would love to have him here. So too good to pass, really. Then the Colts go DK Metcalf, wide receiver, Ole Miss. Downfield guy, freak athlete for his size, crazy good hands. Seen him get all kinds of one-handed catches. Pair him with T.Y. Hilton. you got a serious problem for other defenses. T.Y. Hilton can pretty much run any route, get open anywhere on the field. But you get the legit downfield big man. He can do more than just downfield, but I like them paired. I like them with Andrew Luck, too. Makes sense. Maybe wouldn't happen. Would look maybe a bold prediction. But 2 back-to-back Ole Miss wide receivers go here. I have the Titans taking A.J. Brown, the wide receiver from Ole Miss. Maybe you don't like the chances. You don't like the chances for 2 Ole Miss receivers to go back-to-back. Really, it wasn't purposely done. I just... who would fit with the Colts, who would fit with the Titans, what do they need? And that's what happened. A.J. Brown, he can run any route. He can get open. He can run after the catch, very strong for his athleticism too. I like him on the Titans, somewhat similar to Corey Davis, a little better after the catch maybe. So pair them together, that would look good. The Vikings finally go line. Do they actually? They usually pass on linemen in the first round. They go with Cajuste out of West Virginia. Very good lineman, very athletic. Today's NFL left tackle, in my opinion here. They could use a guard as well. I think they're set at right tackle. But you never know. The Vikings may go defense once again. Ravens go Calvin Harmon, wide receiver, NC State. Another wide receiver. I love this wide receiver class. These guys are very good. Harmon has excellent hands, and down the sideline, he's excellent too. And all that, he's got the strength too. This applies to many wide receivers in this draft class. Sounds like just like the possession guys, the strength guys, but he has great athleticism as well. The Ravens, it's been a while since they had, that legit number 1 wide receiver. They need one to grow with Lamar. I like Calvin Harmon. I like him a lot for this offense. The quick, the RPO, the rollout, throw to the back shoulder, the out. Calvin Harmon's your guy. Love it a lot. Steelers take DeAndre Baker, corner, Georgia. 23rd overall for DeAndre Baker seems low. I like DeAndre Baker. Right now, he might be my number 1 corner. Reminds me of Xavier Rhodes a lot. And those are 2 guys that you couldn't really find a comparison for Rhodes when he was coming out too. Unique guys, very strong, lockdown corners. They make you throw away from them. But maybe a guy like Baker doesn't have the athleticism of Murphy or Greedy Williams. So we're kind of seeing quick spread offenses, like I was saying, what the Ravens are doing, what they're going to be doing with if they got a receiver like Harmon, RPO, quick. It doesn't even have to be RPO. Quick outs, quick back shoulders. The speedy corners have the edge on that, and teams are going to like that. So they may take the more athletic guys first. Baker is very athletic for a freakish size, and he's a lockdown corner, which tend to be my favorite corners. So I think it could drop a little bit, mainly because Greedy Williams, Byron Murphy may be favored a little more. Steelers would love to have a guy like Baker, though. The Raiders, they got a quarterback first time. They're going with Montez Sweat, the edge rush from Mississippi State. This time, pair him with Arden Key. You got yourself a pass rush future. Sweat's a freak athlete, can play on the line, can play off. I like him a lot in the Raiders. Makes a lot of sense. And they'd be very they can afford to take that quarterback if they think they need one, because they can get a pass rusher here. They do need a receiver and a linebacker. Let's see what they get with their next one. Next few picks here. Another guy, couldn't believe I had dropping. Jeffrey Simmons is way better than the 25th overall player, but the other D linemen push him down. It's very hard to predict the order of the D linemen. You got to figure out, who fits the team the best. And it's going to be easier to identify that once we get closer, because one of these D tackles, is going to drop down here just because the other ones and the other teams drafting off need. So is it going to be a guy like Simmons? Is it going to be Dexter Lawrence, Christian Wilkins? I got to drop him further. Is it going to be Rashawn Gary? Is it going to be, any of these guys? So the Seahawks, it would be too good to pass. They would love to plug them in there, and the interior D-line helps stop the run. They like drafting defensive guys too. The Raiders go linebacker, Tavon Coney from Notre Dame. I love Tavon Coney's game. Tackling machines, not really going to miss any tackles. He can cover that slip screen. He can cover that running back very well too. Can pretty much do it all at the linebacker position. He can blitz. He can do it all. The Raiders definitely need his talents. He can start day one. They need a receiver. A lot came off the board, so taking a quarterback could cost them. But if Gruden, I trust Gruden. It doesn't look like it after this year, but I trust Gruden. If he takes a quarterback, I trust his judgment. But they get a very good haul here with Herbert in this scenario, with Herbert, Sweat, and Coney. Looks pretty good. Texans go Cody Ford, offensive lineman, Oklahoma. I like Cody Ford a lot. He's going to play right tackle. That's why he's going later in the first round. The Vikings don't need a right tackle, need a left tackle, so I had them going with more of a left tackle. Cody Ford will start day one at right tackle, where he plays at Oklahoma. Very good athleticism. These athletic guys, teams are really liking these athletic guys. But the problem is usually like their size and you pack on more pounds. I don't think Cody Ford does. His footwork is just, it stands out to me. I watch a lot of college football. I watch the replays when we get closer to the draft process, and linemen don't really stand out to me. I'm more of a skill position guy, but Cody Ford really stands out to me. Like him a lot. Can play day one at right tackle for the Texans. Chargers go Christian Wilkins, another really too good to pass, another very good interior D lineman. Dexter Lawrence is more of an athletic, freakish guy. Wilkins maybe playing better in college, but I think that's why Lawrence goes earlier. Chargers would love to have him, help stop the run here. Another D lineman, the Patriots go Derek Brown. I thought about quarterback here, but, Will Greer is the next guy up. And as you can see, I don't have him going. It's really hard to tell where he will go. And I think teams will be split on him. I think some teams will really like him. Some teams probably wouldn't even take him the second round, Coming from that type of offense, the Big 12, the NFL is starting to head that way, though. So we'll see. I just don't think he's the next Tom Brady. Not in terms of skill and what he's accomplished, but I don't know if he's the replacement. So Derek Brown, very good, for sure worthy of the 29th pick, and he can stop the run at a high level and even get after the quarterback. It's what the Patriots need. The Packers' second pick go Ja'Kai Polite, edge rusher from Florida. This guy gets after the quarterback, and he's got elite moves getting after the quarterback. He can go earlier in this because of that. He just needs a lot of help stopping the run. So obviously the pass means more, so he could go earlier in this, but that's why I have him going down here. The Packers get a great haul here with Marquise Brown and Polite. That is big time. That would look very good. Chiefs go Mac Wilson, linebacker, Alabama. Too good to pass here. They need defense. Could go running back. I don't know if a running back's worth the spot. I like Damian Harris from Alabama. I like Dexter Williams from Notre Dame a lot. Not enough talk. I think he could be a Kareem Hunt replacement. Not as good as Kareem Hunt. But bottom line is the Chiefs need defensive help, and they know they can get a good running back later like they did with Kareem Hunt. Not late in the draft, but later than the first round, obviously. Mac Wilson, I think the future linebackers there would be Dorian O'Daniel and Mac Wilson. I like that a lot. And a surprise here to some, maybe. The Rams take Greg Little, offensive lineman, Ole Miss. Maybe some mocks have him going earlier. Maybe he should go earlier. Good lineman. I like this lineman draft. Pushes him back. But the Rams, you may say the Rams have maybe the best offensive line in football. That is true. But we're starting to see some guys get hurt. Whitworth is really getting up there in age. They know more than anyone to keep that line going. Jared Goff's young quarterback. We need to keep him protected. Greg Little could start right away, but it's not the worst thing if he doesn't start right away. They'll be smart. If there's a very good defensive player they can use that is here, they could take him. But I think they would go with a value pick of a lineman here in this situation, because they got to look out for Goff for the future. So how much longer does Whitworth have? How much longer does Sullivan have? So that could be a center possible replacement. So they'll keep an eye on that. It would not surprise me one bit if they went this route. So that's my mock. A lot of good guys went undrafted. Again, I really like the line class. I really like the receiver class. The D-line class is absolutely, that's an obvious. It's stacked. I think the quarterback class is getting better and better as these guys play. I only had 3 going, but I really like those 3. Will Greer, very talented, could sneak in here. It's tough to say right now with Will Greer. There's some things he does that, teams won't like. He doesn't really do things by the book, so teams really won't like that. I like Will Greer, though. I'd take him in the first round for sure. We'll see. Ryan Finley from NC State's another guy. Daniel Jones from Duke's another guy that could possibly sneak in here. So we'll see. If you guys have any questions about any prospects that I missed, feel free to ask in the comments. I'll talk about them. If you want to ask on Twitter, you can follow our Twitter, ask on there, tweet at us there, frogs_angels, link in the description. You can ask about any players, my thoughts on them, what round I think they'll go. Guys that you think I missed on here, I'll talk about those guys. Feel free. I can talk about the draft all day, really all day. So I really enjoy doing these mocks, really enjoy covering the draft. Can't wait for draft season. The combine's not too far away, so we're getting there. But playoffs are coming. Can't wait for playoffs and Super Bowl predictions. We have on our Twitter as well. Check that out. We talk live during games. Won't be talking live tonight, Thursday night, Chargers-Chiefs on our Twitter because we're going to be live streaming the game, reactions, breakdowns, play-by-plays, a couple of guys joining me. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Please join us for that. Subscriber goals 10K subscribers. Please help us get there by clicking that button. We're going to have a somewhat of a surprise special release, I guess you can say, at 10K. So we'll see. It was supposed to be the face reveal. That got bumped up. We already did that for the live stream. So moving something else in at 10K. We'll talk about it more at a later date, but click that like button too. That'd be much appreciated. That's going to do it for this one, though. Feel free to ask questions in the comments on our Twitter. Stay tuned for the live stream. Stay tuned for more NFL videos all week. That's going to do it. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.